Welcome to Date Night. I'm Will, your friendly neighborhood game mom, a.k.a. your GM.
And I'm Amy, and I play Kira. I'm married to Will.
And I'm Will's nephew. I'm Sam, and I play the Grease Wizard.
I'm Eva. I'm married to Sam, and I play Arin, the half-orc barbarian.
I'm Mike. I'm the fifth wheel, and I play Darren Hammerstone.
And we play
Dungeons and Dragons.
You go blasting back along the road, which is a long, flat expanse that's ahead of you. The narrow gap that you were in opened into an almost plains-like area with scrubby grass dotted along all the red clay, but otherwise pretty flat. Max turns the wagon up to a gear that you didn't know it had. Luckily, above, the winds are blowing so fast that you don't really have any trouble keeping up.
That's convenient.
Yeah. Steam pours out of the oxen's noses, and their eyes start glowing red hot. They roar and rumble, competing with the thunder behind you, but looking back reveals that these clouds, which are U-shaped around you, are sort of gaining and closing in, starting to close up in front. Spectacular bolts of blue-green lightning are streaking across the clouds, and the thunder is a constant thrum now, which makes it even hard to hear the roaring oxen in the front of Max's unconventional wagon.
I'd like to blow my thunder horn back out.
You do. And when you do, bubbles come out of it. No. Good thing is they aren't real animals, Max screams, as they would be panicked. But your wyvern looks unperturbed. The sustained speed is unlike any travel you've ever experienced before. There's dust and grit flying up at your faces.
And we're just out. Like, we're just kind of hanging on, right?
Yeah. And the storm's getting closer. A little gadget of Max's flies up out from the back of the wagon, kind of like a little butterfly, and it lands on his nose. And he starts scanning the horizon through it. You can see it has sort of glass lenses on it. And
Nice.
he scans ahead and he points toward the front, a little off to the side, and he says, there's a tunnel, but I think the storm is liable to catch us before we reach it. He tosses some straps to all of you who are on the wagon. He says, you may want to strap in. And you may want to bring Diggy down to floor level flight.
Okay, I'll do that.
The storm keeps inching closer, and you can hear the rain now. It's smacking the dry, flat earth behind you, and the earth is welcoming those big drops. But it's getting faster and faster until it's on you now, too. First, it's a relief from all that dry grit in your faces, but quickly it's a nuisance, and you start to feel the weight of all this rain on you. Puddles are growing in the front of the wagon, and though you're still moving at incredible speed, it's really sloppy now, and Max is all over the road, or the plains, kind of fishtailing back and forth.
I can see it being an inconvenience, but also I think Arin kind of loves this, and is just, like, screaming into the wind, like,
And all the mud flying up from the wheels.
Darren hates this. He's trying to vomit.
Yeah, you're covered in mud except for, again, your shiny armor.
I was going to
a
say,
beacon
his
in the darkness.
shiny armor is going to get all dirty.
All of a sudden, out of the earth beside you, erupting with a shower of water and mud and stones, bursts a huge, wriggling creature with translucent skin.
Gross.
It's twice as long as the wagon, and
Gross.
it's careening straight toward you.
Gross.
It's maybe 80 feet over to the right, and another
Gross.
another erupts from the earth 50 feet behind you, and it looks almost if it's hard to tell through the rain and the mist, but you're almost sure that they have something riding on their backs. So,
Do you say riding?
what do you do?
How far away?
One's 50 feet behind you, and one is about 80 feet off to the right.
Perception check? From this distance, there's
Sure.
very little I can do.
Never mind. I rolled a 1.
You've got a lot of rain and mud in your face.
All you can tell
Can I do a
is
perception
gross.
check as well?
It's gross.
This mud and rain is gross!
Yeah.
5?
No. Where do you want to try to position yourself on the wyvern, since you're going to be in kind of a different place, so we can just get established where everyone is? Are you flying when you came down lower? How low are you? Are you behind the wagon, in front, beside? Where do you want to be?
I imagined that I was, like,
10 feet maybe above the wagon, just so I didn't like hit it or anything, but I could
But
quickly
you're like right at where the wagon is.
maybe a little
Okay.
behind.
Okay, so that's easy to keep up with.
I'm
kinda where you are.
imagining these things
Like if I was a kite.
looking
Okay.
like a bobbit worm, and I don't know if you guys know what that is, but they're terrible.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share that. So, like,
Are
if
they
someone wants
gross?
to Google bobbit worm,
Hopefully
like
they're
that's
gross.
what I'm visualizing, and it's unpleasant.
They are unpleasant. Okay, so they get a little bit closer to you as the wagon is sort of sloshing around. So they get within, the one on the right gets a lot closer. That gets to about 25 feet. The one behind you doesn't gain much. It's about 75 feet back. Is that how I had it? No, the one behind you was 50 feet. So he's 45. And the other one is now about 45 to your right.
Now I'm starting to doubt this tunnel.
When they do get this close, you see... can you roll a nature check? Anybody can roll, or everybody can.
13.
I rolled a 5. I still haven't noticed anything.
18.
All right. These are death quills that are on their back. They're weird, spiny creatures with pale gray skin, which is also sort of translucent like these worms. Their purple veins show prominently through, even in the rain. They look almost luminescent in all the mist around you. The death quills seem at home on top of the back of these worms, and as the worms get close, you see that they have sort of these spiny fur type, almost like a caterpillar sticking out of their back.
Oh no!
That these death quills are sort of using to grab onto and swing themselves around across their backs. And they are undulating as they blast across the desert, getting closer and closer to you. One is slightly smaller than the other, but they're both really big and bigger than the cart. What would you like to do now?
Doesn't Max have like a cart full of great weapons and stuff? Like, can we? If it's
He
an
doesn't have
emergency,
anything rigged up.
if it's an emergency, can we break into the merchandise?
So you want to have a look back around in Zavagan?
Yeah, I really need a ranged weapon. I really need a ranged weapon. I don't really have anything that can help us right now.
I didn't hear any difference.
I'm going to do one sort of random selection out of some gear that I have, and this is going to be the equivalent of you digging through the back trying to find something during this turn.
Okay.
So let me see what I got and what kind of roll that would be to see what you're going to dig out, okay?
It's a capitalism roll.
Have I seen these things yet?
Well, you know they're there because everybody keeps saying gross.
What? What are you guys talking about?
Look at the yucky worms!
It's raining. Of course there's worms.
Ew.
What worms? There's like earthworms coming out from all the
Did you
rain.
roll a 1?
Yes, I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay, well, I can't help you then.
You have to point at it and say, look over there.
Oh, okay. Look over there at those yucky worms.
Oh my god, they're gross.
Okay.
You turned into Keanu Reeves there for a second. Oh my god, dude!
Roll a d20.
We've gone too far.
20, nat 20.
She gets the perfect ranged weapon.
I pull out another
I don't
blunderbuss.
know if there's even anything that's ranged on here. Trying to look what would be the most helpful out of these things in this particular situation. But I might just have to give you the thing that... Tell you what. This might not be exactly what you were looking for, but you're going to
Okay.
be awarded the Politer Smiter.
Okay.
The Politer Smiter is a +1 great axe. That means it's +1 to hit and +1 on the damage.
Okay.
This is sort of what it looks like. It has an imposing great axe with a smiley face on one side and a snarling face on the other side of the axe head. At any point, the wielder can instruct the axe to be non-lethal. In this state, it will smile. It will never reduce a creature below 1 health, though. It also won't knock them unconscious.
Only
it
in
snarls
non-lethal. It can kill things when it's in lethal mode, though,
when
right?
it's in. Oh, it doesn't have one side, either side. It snarls when it's in lethal mode and smiles when it's in non-lethal mode, so the face actually changes.
Okay.
But also, when it's in non-lethal mode, It apologizes when it deals damage.
Oh boy.
So it's Canadian.
So I'm going to rely on you to be the voice for your politer smiter.
Okay.
Anytime it's in non-lethal mode, you will have to apologize for dealing damage.
Alright.
It's up to you what
So-
mode you want it to be in at any given point.
Okay. So Arin, I guess, emerges from the inside of the thing back onto my little platform, kind of like hefting the axe and like checking out the different sides and being like, this is pretty cool. Like, this isn't what I was looking for, but this is pretty cool.
So is your axe when it first emerges, is it smiling or snarling?
It is snarling.
Okay. All right, so you did that. You dug in there on your turn and found something. So
Thanks, Max.
well, that one is on the house. If we can get out of here. And the one worm, the smaller one, who was beside the wagon, burrows under the ground and comes up directly in front of the wagon, about that same distance, 45 feet ahead. So you got one 45 feet to the front and one 45 feet to the back. When it does, it shoots out of its backside a barrage of tiny objects.
A what now?
I don't like
It does
I need
what?
everybody to make a dexterity saving throw,
No.
please.
No. No.
7?
21.
1.
9.
All right, Dern's going to take the brunt of this attack.
But this is armor shiny.
Not anymore.
You notice that these are little worm eggs, and when they smash into your armor, they hatch.
Oh!
And these tiny baby worms are currently on...
And Turd is just throwing up and
All right, now everybody has a turn. What is it that you would like to do? We're going to do what we did in the
Scream like
last...
a girl and get it off, get it off.
We're going to do what we did in the last one and not go for initiative. Everybody gets a turn, and then these worms and their riders are going to be back up again.
Okay.
How big are the worms?
The one is twice the size of the wagon, and the one is maybe 1.5 times
So
the
they're
size of the
pretty
wagon.
big.
The smaller
They're very
one's in the
large.
front. Yeah.
How big are their mouths?
They're large.
Are they shouting?
They shout?
Or are their mouths open? Like, ah.
Well, the one's in front of you, so you wouldn't really know. The one behind you, I guess.
I mean, the one's butt just opened up.
Sure.
That might be an opening.
Yeah.
True.
God.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna...
I think we have a new title for the episode.
No, this is the next episode.
An opening.
Can I fly the wyvern
No!
into the hole?
I don't think the
Thank you.
hole's big enough
All right.
for the whole
You're
wyvern.
inside of
All right,
just
so-
inside of it.
No. So, all right, I'm gonna fly the wyvern over towards it. I'm gonna jump through it
No!
and cast Thunder Wave.
All right. Roll a dexterity or acrobatics check, please.
Jesus.
10.
That's with your mods. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it this way, but we're gonna say you're around the rim of this thing. And Mike just drank. Bad timing. So you're around the rim of this thing's egg-making parts.
All right, yeah. Thunder Wave. Here we go.
Thunderwave. What is that?
It
Constitution.
a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 5.
All right, let's get these 2d8s of anus damage. 1. Oh,
These are resistant to anus.
3.
Okay.
3 is
And
Aren't you glad you got off of the wyvern so you could do that?
yes, I am.
All right. The death quill
What
on
if
the top of
DiGiorno
this
flies
thing
away now?
had a crit miss on his save. He's going to go flying off of the worm into the ground. So you've done 4 damage to the worm, but you've knocked that death quill off, and he's sort of left in the dust and the approaching storm as you guys sail by at, pretty crazy speed. But now you are in the back of this worm.
What do I
right now.
see? I have dark vision.
No.
All right, whose turn is next?
I was going to. Sharpshooter.
This is one of those situations where you're wishing wishing you didn't have dark vision.
Sharpshooter at the death quill on the one in front of us.
There is no death quill left on the one in front
I
of
thought
you.
he was attacking the one behind us.
No, the one in front of you was the one who's
No, I
blood
thought you were
opened
saying
up.
it's behind.
of the one in front of us. But there are 2 death quills. All right, what you see on the one behind you, there's 2 death quills out in the open, and there's also what looks like some sort of a chitinous, like a pillbox. You know what a pillbox is? Where like it's like a little dome building with like murder holes in it.
Okay.
There's that in the middle, but there's 2 death quills like around on the outside of this thing.
On the worm.
Yes, the one behind. There are none on the one in front anymore.
Then I will aim at the murder hole.
Isn't that what it said?
No, that was the birth hole.
Sorry.
We got the birth hole and the death hole. We could just call this one holes.
No, that's already a thing.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Well, what if Shia LaBeouf comes out of the pillbox?
Finally.
All right, you're going to be at disadvantage to try and shoot anything inside the
No, I'm not.
pillbox.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you will.
Nope. Ignore his 1/2 and 3/4 cover.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
No, you won't. That's good.
Okay, I rolled a 19 plus 7, so that's 26 minus 5, so that's 21.
Okay.
9 plus... Oh, wait, that's not that.
He's not at...
19.
Huh?
I rolled at 9. Or
Oh, you did the sharpshooter thing?
yes.
Yeah.
So 19 damage?
Yes.
Okay. So you do hit a guy who's inside the
Is it Shia LaBeouf?
pillbox. No, he's another death quill, but he's sort of... you can't see him that well and see what he looks like, but you see that you have an arrow go through that little murder hole in the pillbox and strike into a guy standing inside of there. Okay? All right. Aaron and Dern, you still have some things you can do on this particular round.
Do you want to go?
Sure. I want to cast Armor of Agathis, so all those little worm eggs are going to take 5 damage.
Okay. That will turn the little worms into little worm goo.
Now you have little worm goo all over.
I'm still shiny, baby. Still shiny.
Okay.
Your
Your
armor
better or
shiny.
worse, though?
No, that's a lot better than having the live worms. Okay, Aaron. Right now the worms they're still the one 45 feet ahead with no death quills on it and one 45 feet behind.
Well, since we didn't put... I'm still not sure how you managed to jump off of Diggy's back, considering you had tied yourself to her.
I untied.
But okay, well, I'm going to try and call her over to me so she doesn't fly away and jump on her back.
Okay, you roll an animal handling check then.
Okay.
And contested for my animal handling.
You're inside of a worm right now. You can't... I rolled a 3. It doesn't matter, but don't...
She can't hear you, I will say, over the
But you're also
squall.
proficient.
All right.
So you rolled a 5.
So
I rolled a 5. Does that help?
No.
Okay. Is that my whole turn?
Yeah.
That seems okay. I'm going to get a tissue.
Okay. So the worms are back up again, and the one worm is about to blast some eggs out of its backside.
Oh no! Did
So-
Thunderwave do anything to the
Gross.
eggs though
I'm
inside?
going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage, please.
9 plus 3, 12.
Okay. So this thing blasts worm eggs all out, but as they come out, you do notice that a lot of it is just slime, but you do feel a couple of worms wriggling around on you. But mostly you have dead baby worms and egg juice and other unpleasantries.
Okay.
Gross!
The worm in the back is basically trying to gain on the wagon, but it doesn't seem to be making much ground. Inside of that pillbox, you see this like big bolt of metal shoot out. It's almost like a trebuchet, not a trebuchet, a ballista bolt, but it's just all metal and straight, basically. And it sticks into the side of the wagon. there's nothing tied to it or anything like that. It's not like a harpoon on a... It's just a big metal bolt that sticks into the wagon.
Does it look like the death quills on the outside were controlling it, or it was actually hitting somebody inside?
It looks like somebody inside launched it.
Okay.
It's back around to you guys, however you want to do this.
Well, I'm gonna go farther in.
Why?
Okie dokie.
And once I get to my max, how far in can I go?
Not much further.
Until the worm utters its safe word.
I'm quitting the podcast. This has been a fun last
When it
episode.
says Oklahoma, you're about 15 feet in.
Alright, well, once I'm maximum inside, I cast Shatter. More inside.
I'm going to say it automatically fails any Constitution save on that.
Okay. Cool. Let's get 3d8 damage.
Okay.
Does it do extra damage because
One.
of...
6.
Internal bleeding.
6.
Yeah.
13.
Okay. So all of the egg sacs that you see all around here with your dark vision are just completely dead.
Ruined.
You can still feel the two around you because this didn't hit you. You're kind of like pushing it
Yeah.
out. But all of those are ruined, and you see like the insides of this thing start like contracting really hard.
Ro, can I take my... can I get 10 feet out of there?
Yeah, you have another 10 feet of movement, so that would get you to within about 5 to 8 feet of the edge.
Okay.
You were only just inside. Okay. Who else would like to go next?
So terrible to imagine. Who wants to follow that?
I will attempt sharpshooter again.
Okay. At who?
Pillbox.
Okay.
18 plus 7 minus 5 is 20.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, that's 20.
20 damage?
Jesus.
And it's less than full health, and that's another 8. 28.
Okay.
I like this one.
Is this your feet?
Apparently. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you stick another arrow into the thing inside there, and even 45 feet behind, you can hear it roar. Okay?
Okay.
Maybe you should shoot with your feet more often, lass.
Nice.
Alright, Aaron and Dern, you still have a go this round whenever you want to jump in.
I don't know if I can do this. I want to use my last charge on the lightning wand to hit the metal chain. Will that conduct?
There is no chain attaching it.
There's
So
no
you
Said there
chain.
was not. It's not a harpoon. It's just a flat out metal rod that got shot into the side.
By all
Still
means,
get
shoot
it,
the
though.
Pillbox.
So what now?
I would still hit it with lightning, though.
But we're attached to it.
Just aim at the pillbox.
Yeah. Okay. Except I don't want to use my wand. Then I just want to use my crossbow.
Okay, you will be at disadvantage because he's in 3/4 cover.
Okay. So
Unless you want to hit the guys walking around on the worm.
just to refresh my memory, there's a guy inside the pillbox and there's two guys on the outside.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot at one of them.
Okay. You will not be at disadvantage.
I don't add anything to this, do I?
Your dex, I think, which you don't have. So.
No, nothing. So 14.
Yes.
Okay. And that's a 1d8. It's 4.
Okay. So you stick a bolt into one of those death quills running around through those spiny things on the worm. Aaron?
So I'm still on my, wing thing,
Yeah.
right? And I have 1 health point. So
Oh,
I'm...
yeah.
Yeah. I'm...
You should not come down to ground level.
Yeah, I'm gonna
She's
try...
on the wing of the wagon.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna try and call DiGiorno again. I feel like
Okay.
that's still my best call here. That's 10.
Okay. DiGiorno floats over to you and sort of allows you to get on if you'd like.
Yay, good girl.
Okay.
I'm gonna climb on her back and sit in the saddle.
Okay. All right. So when it goes back around to the worms, the worm that has been shattered from the inside out. Another episode title. You feel it, Sam, sort of trying to contract more, and it's going into the air, and from the wagon you guys can see that this worm's front end has started burrowing down into the ground.
Get out!
The worm...
Please get out of the worm.
Well, we'll settle that, and then I'll say what the other worm's doing. You can try and bail or whatever you want to do.
But it's still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a feel of, like, how hurt it is? Or is it just, like...
Want to feel around inside of this thing?
Yeah, just touching the...
Roll a nature check.
19.
You are very familiar with worming.
You think this thing could still take a lot more punishment.
Alright, I run towards the
Okay.
How did
edge,
I word it that way?
and,
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm just going to bow out and say Oklahoma right now.
I jump out. I want to, like, jump onto the wyvern that I left there.
It's less impressive.
But
when
it's
you're
not
getting
there.
Not there. Yeah, so you fly out of the backside of this thing and just smash into the ground.
That's fair.
You're going to take 7 bludgeoning damage as you smack into the ground.
Okay, yeah.
And the worm vanishes beneath the earth there, and there's a big hole that you're just right on the edge of. But you're used to that. Alright, the second worm, out of that pillbox, shoots another thing, but this time it shoots up bolt into the sky above the wagon, and when it reaches cloud level, it detonates. And a hail of lightning streaks down and into the rod protruding from the wagon, sending a jolt of electricity through the whole cart. So anybody who's on the cart needs to make a Constitution save and tell me if you don't beat an 18. You're not on the cart.
I'm not?
You jumped
I'm
on
not
the-
anymore, am I? Haha. Good call,
19.
Eva.
18.
You both are alright.
Ah!
As the, actually, Max is okay. But the oxen buck for a moment, and they actually transform from being mechanical, and they look like actual lifelike but spectral oxen as they get hit with the lightning, and the engine starts to sputter.
Hi guys, thanks for listening. This is Eva. I just wanted to cut in here in the middle of the episode to let you know that you should totally go find us on social media. On Twitter and Facebook, we are D8 Night Podcast, and there's lots of cool stuff on there. There's also a lot of cool stuff on our website at d8nightpodcast.com. If you go there and go to the store tab, you can find, among other things, the specialized Path of Fury barbarian path, I guess, that Will wrote, kind of specially suited to Arin's character, that gives you a lot more options. For those of us who are too dumb to remember spells, it's a great way to kind of work in some more special attacks, including biting, and I guess you'll find out what happens then. Just thanks again for listening, and don't forget to share D8 Night with all your friends. Let's all have fun. Okay, see you later. No, wait. Hear you later. No, you'll hear me later. All right, peace out.
So it's back around to all of your guys' rounds. Sam, you have the wagon barreling down on you at about 75 miles an hour as you watch the lightning strike it, and these oxen transform from brass into like spectral but lifelike oxen without wheels that are just galloping. And that, let's settle that first. So what would you like to do?
You need to roll out of the way.
I want to try and jump on. Can I?
At 75 miles an hour?
Yeah.
I don't care how good your jump is, inertia still dictates you're going to be going from 0 to 75 instantly.
No, well, yeah, he's going to be basically like getting hit with the
Right.
75.
It doesn't matter if you're in the air or not, you're still... Boom.
Can you guys toss me a rope?
You would still be going from 0 to 75.
Okay.
You're gone now. The point is you're gone
Do
now,
you
please.
enjoy your arms?
Let me think. All right.
If only he
enjoy
had
it.
some sort of magic he could
I
utilize.
guess. But the magic... All right, fine.
Orin's like, I guess I'll swing my axe. And Sam's like, I guess I'll use magic.
All right.
I wanted to grapple. I haven't gotten to use my feet yet.
So I'm standing next to the
Shut
hole.
up.
grapple with my feet. It's so hot here.
FEAT.
We hope you fans are happy that we're not running the AC because we are melting.
85 degrees with 200% humidity up here.
Oh.
All right, fine. So it's coming towards me. I'm right next to the hole. Just to be a little extra, I take a step back into the hole and start falling through it. And what are your guys' reactions?
I think we're focused on other things.
Nobody's looking at you. It's not all about you, Sam.
Does Maximilian cry?
He's just trying to keep the wagon moving.
Darn it! All right, fine. And then I'm briefly surrounded by mist, and I teleport 30 feet, and I just onto the cart.
You're still going from 0 to 75.
But via magic. So
I was just using.
He's going to get magicked onto the cart.
Yeah. Did you guys think I died?
And no,
I am sorry.
You're back.
What?
Darn it!
Sorry to break up the reunion, but that is a big hole we are heading for. Any ideas?
Dirt.
I got 5 feet of cubes. Do you want me to just like
5 feet of cubes?
Sure.
Can I do that? Make a little bridge? No, I didn't think so.
Not loose.
Wait, how big is the hole?
20. Well, how big was the worm around? 12-foot hole?
Is it? This is a stupid...
So he's pulling up on the reins and trying to turn to the side of it, but it's unclear whether or not he's going to make it around the side of the hole.
Why don't we just go in it?
Because it's going down.
You don't want to go in that hole,
Would
honey.
you enjoy changing
75
directions at 75 miles an hour?
4 miles.
75 fantasy miles an hour?
I'm Fantasy Miles. Did you call me?
You sound a lot like Freeman.
Is Freeman still on vacation, by the way? Like,
He's off in the Feywilds.
oh yeah, I remember now. I wasn't there when he vanished, so I keep forgetting about him.
I got nothing.
Okay, then let someone else go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got
lean? Lean, I guess?
Okay.
Which side are we going to? Dern, can you
We all
either
go to different
jump
sides.
on your side to make it tilt up?
I mean, does anyone have, like, a rope or a chain or something
Wait,
they
have
can
the
throw up to the
wyvern.
wyvern so she can help pull around?
At 75 miles an hour.
Okay, just be cool.
So you're going to shout that, and Max is going to pull out like a lasso, and he's going to try to lasso the wyvern.
Alright, if I'm helping, does that give him advantage?
Sure, you can use your turn for assist, which would mean instead of a 12, it's an 18. So he's got the rope kind of less of a lasso and kind of gets it to you.
Yeah.
So you can sort of do what you'd like or try to strap it onto the saddle or something.
Don't put it around the wyvern's neck.
No.
Pretty sure that would end badly.
Okay, yeah, I think strapping it to the saddle would be the best option.
Okay, so that's Aaron trying to help move, and so we're pulling toward the right of this
Yeah.
hole.
But you guys are also leaning and steering, so it's not all
Yeah.
on DiGiorno.
He's steering in that direction, but the oxen are not exactly acting normal. Dern and
Do
Kira, is there
they
anything?
still look spectral, or are they back to normal?
No, they still look spectral right now.
Okay.
Can I do like an Arcana check on them?
Sure.
That's a 19 plus 6.
So whatever magic that... These things aren't purely tinkered creations like a steam engine that could make him run 70 miles an hour. He's got arcane power inside of these things, and when the lightning hit it, it's just sort of gone haywire, and these things have transformed into something completely different, not from this dimension.
Like a Furby.
You had a different childhood than I did.
I'm Fantasy Furby.
No, I'm just saying, like, the electronics get messed up and they just go absolutely wild, and they're
I
not...
remember
becomes a
when
spectral
when
being
my
from another
Furby got
dimension.
hit by lightning that time, and then it turned into the movie
And the arcane
Gremlins.
magic... the arcane magics within just...
Okay.
Can I lean and shoot, like do an attack?
Sure.
Okay, this is going to be really stupid, but I'm kind of digging this idea. I want to lean in the direction that we're turning. I also want to try to shoot the blunderbuss back at the.
Okay, let's make it a little weirder.
Mostly because I watched Wanted last night, and this seems really cool.
Okay, you have the sheet to see what gets hit here. So what's your intended target?
One of the
Any in particular?
I've got like Dune going in the back of my head, so I don't know what you call them, but one of the Worm Rider guys.
Death Quills?
Yeah.
Do you want to go for the boss or for one of the guys outside?
I probably couldn't hit the boss if I wanted to, so one of the guys outside.
Well, the way the blunderbuss is, kind of different on.
Well, the way the blunderbuss is, I probably shouldn't even bother picking a target. So we're gonna.
Here's my blunderbuss effect. Uh-oh.
Aim at the pillbox.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll aim at the pillbox. Why not?
There it is. Okay. So you roll a d20 and see what gets hit.
Misfire. The shot has no effect. It does not expend a charge, but it does expend the creature's action. So
I went digging for that blunderbuss sheet.
hey, I'm just as disappointed as you are.
So you lean in over to the side, finally aim that blunderbuss.
Click, click.
But hey, you still have
Like
it.
in Furry Road, he pulls the thing out to try and shoot the chain
Oh,
off
yeah,
his
yeah,
arm
yeah,
that just
yeah.
sizzles. Okay, Kira, is there anything you want to do before we get to the next turn and see what happens with the hole and with the trailing worm?
I'll try the
It's
pillbox
the
again.
weirdest sentence.
No,
That
it's
was
not.
the weirdest sentence.
No, it's not. It's the sad thing.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the worm's safe word? I think it's probably up
The
there.
fact that we arrived on Oklahoma,
This one's Kansas.
and it's continuing. Okay.
You're gonna have to roll eventually.
I know, I'm trying to build
But
up
she
my
has
mental
to,
luck.
what is she doing? You're shooting that guy in the pillbox?
Yep, I don't do it.
Okay, this one ricochets off the pillbox.
Because it's 16, so 11.
No. Okay. So, with all the leaning and the DiGiorno and the steering, you guys just make it around the side of that hole
I'm starting to
and
get hungry.
manage not to go in. And the other worm behind you pulls up basically right beside you now. The storm has closed up in front of you. There's nothing but torrential wind and clouds all around you. The sound of the engine in front of you has cut out for a second, and you've heard the thrumming wind from behind, and a funnel touches down. It's drawing up water and earth into its spout, wider and louder and getting closer and closer.
Again, this would have been more appropriate for last time.
Yeah, well, that's what's inspired this time. The Death Quill knocks another bolt in the safety of his cover, and the oxen sort of phase back into their brass forms, and Max shouts, "Don't let him kill our engines again, or we are going to be going up in that thing behind us, the storm. I'll get you closer to the worm." So Max yanks the wheel back toward the left, slows down a little bit because the worm had been coming up around on the left, and gets close. The Death Quill inside shoots another bolt where the wagon had been moments before, but it just misses, and another barrage of lightning rains down, this time into a small scraggly tree where that bolt, it went into the clouds above where the wagon was and went down and hit the tree instead of the wagon. You get to within about 10 feet of the worm, and it's undulating between about the height of your wagon and getting, a little bit higher. So it's right beside you. The pillbox is about 20 feet ahead of you with a small door in it. You can see there's one Death Quill standing in the span between you and the door, and another one that's about 15 feet behind you. What would you like to do now?
Should I try to go at the pillbox again or the death quill in front of it?
Pillbox.
10.
Okay, the arrow clings off the side of the pillbox.
Some sort of
This
orb or
thing's up.
something?
This thing's up right next to us again. This worm.
Yeah, 10 feet away. The pillbox is 20 feet up the worm from you. There's a death quill in between you and it, about 15 feet away. And then there's another one 15 feet behind the wagon.
I'll try the blunderbuss again, just for funsies.
Okay, at who?
At the pillbox guy.
Yeah, okay.
And the death quill's between
Yeah,
him and the
you rolled
pillbox.
high.
16. Shot hits the intended target.
Yeah, so you're going to hit the boss. So now roll another d20 to see what effect it has.
Ooh.
11.
Okay. Okay. So you watch this ray come out that looks just kind of like a clear ray, but you can see that it stops the rain from collecting around it, and it just, you can kind of see this form.
Like an anime.
And when it hits the target, you feel the target say, "What would you like me to do, Master?" inside your mind.
Mike has a big evil grin.
Lightning yourself.
Okay, the one thing that he's not going to do is take an action to harm himself. That's the
Why not
the
harm his
charm
companions?
person.
Yeah, shoot the water with the bolt.
The worm
Yeah.
that he's on. Because the other one's
Can
gone.
he hit the one closer to us?
There's
That
only
is-
one out right now. The one went in the hole. And is
One
gone.
more way.
And so he's
He's on the other one.
One was traumatized forever by Sam.
I mean, yeah, I think we all would be. Yeah, the one he's on.
Okay. So he shoots a bolt into the front of the worm.
Does he pith it?
Huh?
Does he pith it? That's how they slaughter cows and other stuff. They shoot it in the back of the head with a bolt.
Oh,
It's
I was
called
unaware of the
pithing.
terminology.
It's called pithing.
Oh.
I just called it hitting with a hammer.
No, the worm's still alive. All right.
But that big metal bolt is
In the worm.
all right.
Lightning something?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Witch's Bolt at it, at the bolt.
What kind of damage does that do?
Lightning damage.
Okay, I'll say you'd be at advantage to hit because you just have to get it near it.
It. So I roll a d20. I've never casted Witch's
Yeah.
Bolt.
I think it's a ranged attack, right?
It says
You're at advantage. Roll again.
range.
Why is
I
that
don't know.
range?
Sure, yeah, it's 8,
Plus your spellcasting.
7. 8 plus 7.
Okay, yeah, you hit that bolt.
1d12.
And I do 1d12 damage. With this guy? Yeah. 4.
Okay, so you hit that bolt with lightning, and it channels it into the worm's front half, sort of head.
I'm not familiar with that half.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do more damage.
Okay.
Okay.
And it starts bucking around, but the death quills on it hang on to those little spiny things.
What does that say? If you need to boot trans for the duration, you can use the action to deal. I can't tell what this is saying.
I think I used, like, text. Voice to text.
Aaron, what would you like to do this round?
I don't know.
You're on DiGiorno right now,
Yes.
I think, right?
And at the speed the wagon's going, she's able to keep up with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Playing a little fast and loose with DiGiorno's move speed, but it just
The
makes
wind
it
is
all
in her
easier.
favor, so yeah, okay.
Can she do like a chain lightning attack or something?
Me?
No, the wyvern. DiGiorno.
I don't know. Yeah, there's not much I can do, so maybe can she attack one of the guys,
Yeah,
and that'll be my turn.
sure. Roll a d20 and add 5.
16.
Yeah, that will hit.
And what should I roll damage?
Yeah, roll 2d8.
That's this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
8. 4.
Okay. So DiGiorno goes over and bites this thing. And actually the damage of it moving in and sort of pouncing on it knocks him clean off the side of the worm. He goes tumbling into the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, the other Death Quill, did you go for the one in between the pillbox and the wagon, or the one behind the wagon?
I was going for the one that was going to be easiest to knock off.
Probably the one in between was closer.
Okay.
They're about the same. But all right, the one from behind the wagon runs up and makes a leap onto the wagon and makes an attack at Dern with its claws. That's a 20 against AC. And it does 5 damage.
I no longer have my armor of Agathis.
It then tries to kind of turn around and get you with one of the quills. It's got these spikes on its back, kind of porcupine-like.
Against armor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I missed.
So it goes up against your shield and just kind of makes a scratching sound. All right, we'll say it's back around to your guys' part of the round, in whatever order you'd like to go again.
I'll cast another Witch's Bolt at the same target.
Okay, advantage again.
7 plus
So
7, 14.
Yeah.
Does 4 damage.
Okay. So some more lightning goes into the thing, but I'll make that guy... Oh no, he's on our wagon now, so he doesn't have to try to make a save. Okay, anybody... Who else wants to go?
I want to hit the guy that's on our wagon with Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
I want to go ahead and use my Channel Divinity Guided Strike with plus 10 to hit, so that ends up being a 21.
Yes.
Okay, so hammer damage is 11, and then 5, another 10 of thunder.
He has to make a save to see if he gets knocked off.
Correct. Or go back 10 feet and be knocked prone, which would put him off the wagon.
Yeah, he got blasted off the back of the wagon and smashed into the ground. Now the worm's still beside you, but you're sort of... You have control of the guy who's inside the pillbox.
I still have control of him?
You can make him jump off, maybe.
No, he won't hurt himself, though.
He's just trying to run away.
Go home.
Okay. So you watch when you have that telepathic signal with the guy. You watch the worm go way up, kind of into the air, smash down into the ground. You feel like it go underneath the wagon and kind of buckle the wagon up in the air a little bit as it buckles the earth. And basically, Max is yelling that you need to get clear. Just ahead, a small mound of earth sits over a dark opening, and Max adjusts his direction ever so slightly toward the cave. The tornado behind you is closer than ever and inching closer. Max doesn't slow as you near the opening, even though it looks perilously small and low. You fly into the opening just as the tornado threatens to yank all of you off the wagon.
And we fly in too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're DiGiorno and you were right with it. You could almost swear, as you go into the cave, that you saw a hand reaching out from the tornado. But you're in the darkness, and the rain has stopped, and it's cool, and Max finally eases up on the throttle a bit. Thanks again for joining us on our adventures and being a part of our date night. We really appreciate you listening and spreading the word about the show to help us grow. Remember, subscribe, rate, review, follow us on social media at D8 Night Podcast, and most importantly, keep listening.